Hello, Nicole. Thanks for jumping on and doing an interview live from Acumatica Summit 2022. Appreciate
Hey
it.
Tim, thank you so much. I'm really glad to not only be here in Vegas, but be here with you too, virtually.
Maybe you could tell us who you are, who you work for, and what you do there.
Sure. So, my name is Nicole Ronchetti, and I am the president of accuconnect. I am also a senior technical consultant at DSD Business Systems. So, we're here at the Win in Las Vegas. Things are just starting to get kicked off, and we just had a session on accuconnect just a little while ago down in the ballrooms. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and for Acumatica Summit to get started.
So, how much time? Well, when did your plane land, and when did the AccuConnect session start?
So my plane landed at about 12:30, and the session started at 3:30, which doesn't sound terrible, but as you know, with all of the traveling, trying to get from the hotel, get here, get checked in, get my badge for the registration, then make the long trip. My room is on the top floor, so like to make it all the way down to where our session was, I did feel very pressed for time. But it all worked out. Check-in was super fast, both with the hotel and with the conference. So that was great. A lot of people have complained in the past about how long check-ins can sometimes be, but at least for me, it was super easy. The hotel had you could just check in at a kiosk and it would print your keys. And luckily, my room was ready, so I had no delays in anything. I was a little bit worried about our session because this session is pretty much right at the start, and I know people are still kind of traveling in, people are still getting in. So we were worried we wouldn't get a very high attendance. But we had one of the larger size ballrooms,
Oh,
and
okay.
we had a pretty full house, and it turned out pretty good. We had a pretty packed room for
Wow.
such an oddball time to be doing a session. So it was good.
Actually, it's interesting that time because I think it was, boy, I can't remember now, 2 or 3 years ago when that first like user group session was about the same
Yeah.
time slot, and then I don't remember the first AccuConnect session I went to. I don't think it was that time slot, but
We had a
that's good. You had
similar kind of situation where it was like around the time that people were checking in, and so like we thought that made it difficult for people, but we had really good attendance in the room, really good engagement in the room. So it really worked out fantastic. So, and it's always just great that Acumatica really supports our AcuConnect community and allows us to do a session to promote it. So it's great to always have the publisher support in us doing that.
So what'd you say? Over 50 people, over 100 people, if you had to ballpark.
I would probably say like 50 to 75.
That's solid. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people are still getting in Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I would say it was pretty solid attendance. Just a couple of announcements that we made during the
Yeah,
group.
just gonna ask you that for those of us who weren't there.
For those of you who weren't there, a couple of things that we announced. We kind of announced our new board makeup for AccuConnect, and for those who don't know, we did formalize AccuConnect as a 501c this year, and formalized our board, and we're also expanding our board. So the current board was myself, uh, Liz Anderson from Repay, Darcy Borio from DAB Partners, um, Jeff Franklin from True Commerce, and Johnny Girardi from DataSelf. We announced today that we voted in last week 2 new board members, one of which is Amy Keenan from the ISV Society. Some people know Amy previously from places like Avalar and Rockton. She's been involved in the community quite a bit. And also Louisa Gooding from Acumatica is joining our board. So we're just kind of excited to bring on additional folks who can kind of join the community and bring it to the next level, and just help continue to grow it.
Any other announcements that happened there, or like what was the discussion like? How did it go?
Yeah, so I mean, some of the discussion was just kind of reiterating, who the group is, why get involved. We're always looking for more committee volunteers to help organize events and help grow the community. So we're kind of expanding out some of our committees. So, obviously, we're always looking for more volunteers to participate in that. And additionally, we handed out some awards for what we call our top accuconnectors. So people who were really involved in the community throughout the year, we had awards made and handed out awards to those folks. So we handed out those awards, and then additionally, we did a special award also that we're going to do every year. Some people may or may not be aware that there was kind of someone who had been around in the channel for quite some time, Ryan Steigerwald, from most recently from Lockstep, but he's been at a number of places in the channel. He passed away this past year. So we created a special award called the Steige Award because Steige was his nickname. So we presented that Steige Award to Amy Keenan, in kind of memory of Ryan. So we spoke about Ryan and, spoke about the importance of building a community and building a channel. And handed out those awards to those deserving nominees. So it was
That's
a
cool.
really good
That's
session.
really neat.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the kind of things that make a community. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we were really, really just happy at the attendance. Happy to see everybody. Me personally, it's the first time I've been to a conference in 2 years. I didn't come to Acumatica Summit in July. So for me, I was a little like, like most people, I was probably on the fence about attending a conference a little bit. Like, do I want to come? Do I not want to come? And, so far I'm just like, I'm glad I came. It's so good to see everybody. So good to get back involved and just, see what's going on and see everybody. So
We're
it's been good.
Still dealing with COVID a little bit. Your mask was snagged on your AirPods right before we went live. There's still evidence of it, of course. But
I mean, I took my mask off. I'm hoping I don't get in trouble because I will say that everyone at the Win is wearing masks pretty much constantly, which is great to see. I just took it off and kind of ducked in a little corner here so I could do this with you. But yeah, it's always interesting. And I just came back from a client trip. I was visiting one of our Acumatica customers last week and through part of this week. And, it's just always interesting to me now, too, to see how different locations in the United States are about their COVID policies and things like that. I kind of thought Vegas wouldn't be as careful as it seems like they're being. So it's refreshing.
That surprises me too. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of thinking like, oh, no one will be wearing masks. But no, if anything, I feel like I might get in trouble by not wearing a mask right now. So that's a good thing, right?
That is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, yeah. And, because I did come back from a client trip, I think I took 3 COVID tests this week because I was so paranoid about I felt fine, but I was just worried about maybe carrying it or anything else and coming to a conference. So I took 3 COVID tests, 2 at-home tests and 1 lab test in the last 3 days.
So you
might be a little
excessive.
Yeah, I just wanted to be extra careful.
That's good.
So yeah.
So what about tomorrow and Tuesday? What's your game plan? Is it mostly seeing people or is it attending sessions, combination of both?
Definitely attending sessions. I think I was a little bit bummed out because it seemed like the sessions were definitely in these clumps where there would be these blocks of time where I was like, oh, there's 3 things I want to see and they're all at the same time. And then there's this other block where it's there's nothing, so that's a little bit difficult, but, especially being a part of, being at a reseller where I have coworkers here, we kind of decided to divide and conquer on sessions so that we can all get a little bit of what we want to see and take notes and share them with each other. So that's, how we kind of handle it, between the 3 or 4 consultants that we have here from DSD. So, Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of divide and conquer, but yeah, I'm really excited to see the sessions and see what's new and just learning some different stuff that probably already came out, but maybe need to just brush up on, So I'm excited to look at point of sale if I can see a little bit more about the new point of sale while I'm here, because I have a few customers who are interested in that. But yeah, always just for me, it's always about learning and that first and foremost. So I'm really excited to go to the sessions and whatever else happens, that's just icing to me. So
Yeah, I heard it might be challenging with not as many Acumatica employees there. Like maybe
mm,
especially from Moscow, they might not have been able to get there as easily with visas and things. But
maybe. I mean,
you
I
haven't
did
noticed that
hear
yet.
of. I haven't noticed that yet, but it's a little too soon to tell, probably. But we had quite a few Acumatica people. I've run into quite a few Acumatica people, but I equally had seen, gotten some emails from different Acumatica people saying, "Oh, we're not going to be attending." Um, you know, so we'll see. I mean, but we've kind of seen that not just amongst Acumatica, but the VARs as well. I mean, it's just kind of the state of the world that we're
Yeah,
living in. So it's
yeah,
like,
last minute stuff.
no one can really get too upset about it because I think we're all understanding of it.
Sure.
We had people who we were planning. Some of our board members from accuconnect were planning on, uh, you know, attending up until 3 or 4 days ago when one of the somebody's kids got COVID and things like that. So it's always just you kind of play it by ear and we make do and we'll still have a good time anyways. So I think it'll
At
work out
least you
good.
got out there. Yeah, I haven't been on a plane
Yeah.
in over 2 years. So no, props
Yeah,
to you for getting out there. That's great.
it was definitely tough after doing this client trip last week. I swear, I mean, I haven't traveled much at all in the last couple of years, and I have been on 7 or 8 planes in the last 2 weeks. And this is like, I'm in like travel and social overload. I'm like, when this is done, I want to curl back up into my little antisocial ball in my house and never leave. Like, it's
I
so
feel the
tough.
same way after Summit. Yeah, it's exhausting for me.
It's so
Introverts like us,
exhausting.
yeah, the big shows are not
Yeah.
the best venue for us.
It's tough. It's so tough. But yeah,
Well, great.
cool.
Thanks for being my first 15-minute interview. I appreciate you giving me a
Awesome.
flavor for what it's like, and hope you don't get in trouble for not having your mask on. And have
I
a
don't
great
think
rest
so.
of the time there.
Thanks, Tim. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.